One Edward and Alphonse Elric, the brothers who were too eager to break the rules and paid for it. Let's start with Ed and Al, two bright young minds who thought they could break the fundamental laws of alchemy and cheat death like they were messing with chemistry homework. When they attempt human transmutation to bring their mom back from the dead, spoiler, don't try this at home, they totally forgot the first rule of alchemy, equivalent exchange. But here's the twisted truth. They didn't even bother thinking about the consequences. They thought they could just bring mom back and get their bodies restored, like the universe owed them something. Guess what? The universe doesn't play fair. Ed loses an arm, Al loses his entire body, and they're left with a magical suit of armor as a consolation prize. Talk about a selfish quest for redemption. 2. The Philosopher's Stone. A cheat code that's basically alchemy's version of pay to win. Enter the Philosopher's Stone, which the Elric brothers think will solve all their problems. The Philosopher's Stone is basically an alchemy cheat code. It allows you to bypass the law of equivalent exchange. In short, you can create whatever you want by giving nothing in return. Sounds like a solid plan, right? Well, let's take a closer look. The stone is powered by human lives, which means it's essentially a soul-sucking battery that uses people's pain to fuel your ambitions. So, the Elrics are actively seeking a way to take from others to fix their own mistakes, essentially living in denial about their irresponsibility. Oh, and they never really questioned the morality of it. But hey, when you're desperate, the ethics go right out the window, right? 3. The Homunculi. 7 deadly sins wrapped in glittery, tragic, and highly stylish packaging. Let's talk about the villains, the Homunculi. They're essentially embodied sins: lust, gluttony, envy, wrath, pride, greed, and sloth. Each of them represents a deadly sin, and they're all hell-bent on using the Philosopher's Stone to resurrect their daddy, Father, the ultimate evil alchemist who's trying to become a god. But here's the funny twist. These sins are ridiculously stylish. Lust's red dress, iconic. Gluttony's obsession with food, relatable, except for the fact that he's literally trying to eat the souls of everyone. Even Wrath is all about flexing his swordsmanship like he's auditioning for the next sword fight showdown. But the truth is, these characters are just messed up, each one representing the flaws that are so ingrained in humanity, but often ignored in favor of glamorization. And Father, their creator, yeah, he's basically just a mad dad who thinks he deserves godhood because he's too proud to admit he's utterly flawed. 4. Father, the ultimate daddy issues character who wants to become a god, but just can't let go of his past. Speaking of Father, he's the one pulling all the strings, but guess what? He's essentially a man-child with god-level ambitions. His whole plan revolves around selfishness. He doesn't want to rule a kingdom. He wants to transcend humanity itself and become a god. His ultimate goal is basically, I want to be the ultimate version of myself and forget everyone else. Let's just be clear. Father isn't doing this out of some noble desire to improve the world. He just doesn't want to deal with the consequences of his own mistakes. It's like a kid who ruins their toys, blames everyone else, and then tries to destroy the whole toy store. It's not just villainous, it's immature and downright tragic. 5. Roy Mustang. The hero who will burn you, then ask for a hug. Roy Mustang. The flame alchemist, a man who can set anything on fire, including your heart or your wardrobe if you're in his line of fire. Sure, he's a decorated military officer, but let's be honest. Roy is one flame-fueled mess of contradictions. On the one hand, he's a hero who wants to bring justice and get revenge for the people who killed his comrades. But on the other hand, he's actively part of the corrupt military system he criticizes. He's literally a product of the system, yet wants to overthrow it. He's like the guy who complains about the rules while benefiting from them. Classic. And let's not forget the irony. He's in charge of an army, but still doesn't have control over his own feelings. That's right, Roy, why not burn some things down to express your emotions? 6. The Alchemy. It's science, not magic. Oh, wait. Never mind. Alchemy and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood isn't just about waving a wand and turning lead into gold. It's about sacrifice. The more you want, the more you have to give. The universe doesn't play nice when you try to defy its laws. And that's the biggest irony. Alchemy is a science, but it's treated as an art of willpower. The funny thing is that everyone just forgets this rule and goes on to sacrifice lives, manipulate people, and even lose limbs without realizing the emotional cost. They don't just ignore the basic rules. They treat it like a shortcut. This isn't science. This is denial wrapped up in alchemical circles. 7. Winry Rockbell. The only one who's actually fixing things around here. While you're staring at your problems. A Winry, the girl who fixes everything but somehow gets overlooked in favor of the brothers' emotional journey. While Ed and Al are off seeking redemption, Winry's back at home, wrench in hand, putting their broken lives back together, literally. But here's the twist. Winry's the real hero here. She's the one who has to fix their mistakes while they're off chasing the Philosopher's Stone like they're going to find a magic pill that makes everything better. Winry doesn't get the glory or the recognition, but she's the one who holds it all together. When life's falling apart, you don't need a magic stone. You need a solid mechanic who knows how to handle life's broken parts. 8. The ultimate question. What are you willing to sacrifice? By the end of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, it's clear. Everything comes with a price. Ed and Al learned this lesson the hard way, but here's the catch. They don't always take responsibility for the price they paid. They're like that friend who guilt trips you into helping them out but never says thanks. The show constantly asks, what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve your dreams? And more importantly, what are you willing to sacrifice of others? That's the twisted side of the show. People say they want peace, but they're willing to create chaos for it. Conclusion. Fullmetal Alchemist. A complex story of sacrifice, selfishness, and hilariously bad decisions. At the end of the day, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is a grim tale of ambition, self-delusion, and paying for the mistakes of those who think they can outsmart the universe. But hey, at least it's entertaining. Just be warned, if you start questioning your own life choices, don't say we didn't warn you. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood is as much a story about how to fix your own mistakes as it is a cautionary tale about getting so caught up in your own desires that you forget the people around you and the price of the consequences.